Okay, we're going to be doing the setup of the planner in the Gram app. So when you first, this will be what it looks like when you open the app, and this will be your home page here. What we'll want to do is we'll want to set up the planner. So we'll hit up Setup Planner, and you want to do a new configuration. And we're going to set up a 12 row here, so we'll just name this 12 row. Continue. And then it'll bring us to this screen. Now your first tab here is your system tab. Now what we're going to do is you can either do seeds per area, your population, or the seeds per distance, and how many seeds per foot or so, whichever you want to do there. We're going to go ahead and do seeds per area. Now you can also do it in units or units in imperial or metric. And your RF channel, you can pick between 3 different channels. We'll leave it on channel 1 for now. And then you want your GPS baud rate, which we usually run at 115/200. So we'll set that at 115/200. Your GGA rate, which will be 5 hertz. And then you can, your tractor ID, as in, say you have 2 of our systems running in the same field, you'll need to change one of the systems to a different number. Now you have your turn on your latency and your shut off latency. That'd be as in coming out of your pass. You can, going into your pass would be your turn on latency to time it with your GPS just right, and also your shut off as in coming out of your pass for your point rows, and you'll be able to set those. And we also have invert seed counter polarity, which sometimes you'll need that. Most of the time you won't need to use that. Now once you have all that information saved in there, you'll hit save, and then you can go ahead and move on to your next tab, which is our geometry tab. Now here you'll have number of rows, and since we're doing a 12 row, we'll change that to 12 rows. And then you can hit next. And then your row be your row spacing. And your row spacing is space in between your meters, in between your rows, so standard 30-inch row spacing. And then your row offset, once you set your row spacing, it'll automatically set your offset. Now it's just half of your row spacing, so it'll be 15. Now you'll do the distance, and it also shows over here. So on your row spacing you can have there, and it'll show the space and what you need to measure there. And then also as in your offset, it'll be half. Now on your distance from GPS to planner pack wheels, it'll be your GPS to your pack wheel on your planner, and that's the number you'll need to enter right there. So you'll get a tape measure, and you'll measure from the middle of your GPS to the center of your pack wheels, and that you'll enter that number here in inches. And then you have your planner type. So it's just a standard, where we're just doing a standard planner right now, but you can do a twin row, interplant, or a male spiker also. So we're just going to have a standard. And then a hitch type, you'll have a 3-point or pull type. We're going to do a 3-point here. And once you have all those entered in there the way you want them, you hit save, and then you can move on to your seating. Now here on the seating, you'll have your meter plate count, and your meter plate count will be how many holes are in your meter plates, and you'll just enter that right there. We have 40 in ours right now, so we're going to hit 40. Then you'll have the gear ratio. On the Gram Pros, you'll have it set at 1. Sometimes you might have to adjust that, but that'll be accordingly to how your planter is set up, whether we have to gear it down or whatnot. So, and then you have your jump speed. So this will be a speed of your jump, as in coming from a stopping position to plant, for your GPS to catch up. So if you want your population, say you're running at 32,000 population, so you want to set your jump population at 32,000, and your jump time is the time it takes for your GPS to catch up. So say it takes 5 seconds, 10 seconds, you can change that just to however long it takes for your GPS to recognize you are moving. Then you have your 4 different product populations you can set in here. So on the go, you can change your population on the go. We'll just set it up like this, and I'll change this to 32 because we're going to plant at 32. So now you can either plant at 10,000, 20,000, 32,000, or 40,000. Now our motor type, we have gram light motors, or we have a gram pro, or we also have custom. Now we are setting up for a gram pro right now, so we'll set it up on gram pro. Now here you can do your in row inset, so it'll be a full row or half row. So if you do a full row, you can go clear up to where you last planted, and it'll plant clear up to where you last planted. Or you can do half row, and it'll plant clear up to say you're at 30 inches of spacing, you can plant up to 15 inches from your last row that you planted, and that is your half row and full row. And then once you're done with that, you save. Again, you always save after changing these configurations. You want to save before you can move on. Now we have our liquid fertilizer, and it pretty much works the same. We're not going to have it on this right now, so we're going to leave them on off right now, but you can turn them on. And then you'll have your cow factors, and you also have 4 different rates you can set also. We're able to do 2 liquids, so you have 2 different you can set for it in there. Now then we can move over to the dry fertilizer, and it works just the same. We can have 4 different sections. You have your different motor types you can change. So you have the 80 or 125 or the hydraulic motors, and you're also able to do 2 products also. So we'll be able to set up your cow factor and your 4 different target rates on those as well. We're going to leave those off now because we're not using them. So you save, and then we'll move over to depth control. And here on depth control, all these numbers here you will not do anything with. They are set numbers. You don't need to do anything with them. Here you can turn your depth control on and off. You also can set your 4 different targets there also. So if you want to go 2.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 1 3/4 inches, and so on. 4 different target that you can set on the go. And then we also have the alarms. Now on the alarms, you have your population alarm, which you can set. So if it's 20% within your target population, if it's over 20%, it will an alarm will come on within, above, or under your population target. The same goes with singulation. If you're within 20% of your singulation, above or under, it will come on. And also the same with your pump rate alarm for your liquid, and just the same there. So that would be your alarms. I'm going to go ahead and keep them off on this one. And that would be the setup process for the setting up of your planter. You just save, and now you have it in here active, and it's 12 row. And that is the setup of your planter.